This is the M4 fully loaded from gellblastergun.com. So I took it apart. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to do that. I already did it, obviously, but I'm going to go over what you do. It's a little different. And this is like a different kind of two-piece M4A1. And it looks to be that this is a Tiangong gearbox. So this is probably a Tiangong blaster altogether. And I know that just because this is the exact same setup that is in the Tiangong ARP9 that EMERBU Toys sells. So you can see right here the gearbox is just a little different than a Gen 8.5 that we see in others, right? So you can see some differences here. The Tiangong does seem to be a better built, better gearbox than this more common one, which I'm not sure of the manufacturer of, but this is what we've seen in lots of other Gen 8.5s that I've shown you. So when it comes to taking this one apart, it's a little different. Up at the top, you do have 3 screws, right, on your rail, and they all go into those little gold metal squares, so make sure you don't lose those. That's what I have in there, right? You can see those there. Okay, then you've got your pins that you're going to use an Allen wrench to take the one out here and the one out here, and then you've got one screw in the bottom that goes in through the bottom of the grip and actually screws into the bottom of the motor cage right there. Of course, you got to take out your mag release too, which is just a screw. Now, once you've done that, it's kind of sandwiched together. There is one pin right there, so just make sure you don't lose that. If it does come out, it stayed in mine. And then the grips can, also pop off, but you don't really need to take them off completely because there's not really any reason that you have to. So a little different when it comes to taking it apart, but still very easy. And now we see the actual gearbox. I touched on how it's a little different. So this is for that blowback feature, so you just don't want to lose it. And again, that just lines up with this piece right here. It's very obvious that that's where it goes. Okay, and then we can see the gearbox itself, see everything here. Now this is a nice different kind of connection for how the T-piece connects to the gearbox than what we see with this one, okay? Now, when I did some mods on the ARP9, the barrel pulled out pretty easy, and I could reuse that T-piece. This barrel's seated in here really good. I could certainly try to boil that if I wanted to go to a longer barrel, but I'm not going to because I don't want to mess it up, and I don't have any extra ones of this specific T-piece because it is pretty unique, and I just started getting this type of Tiangong blaster. So for the new handguard that I'm making, which I'll show you in a different video, I'm going to just go ahead and maintain this and use this same metal barrel that's already there. The only thing I really want to do with this is because it does already have metal gears, an upgraded motor and everything, is we're just going to change the spring on it. So spring, it's just going to be like on all of these. So there's usually just 2 different types of retention pins, but they both come out the same way. And this is that smooth retention pin that you see right there, okay? So it's a little different. Now this spring is actually there. It was on there pretty tight. So that's the spring. All right, now I have a couple extra springs here from akgellblaster.com. So the blaster itself is from gellblastergun.com. Both of these are great sites. The parts are from AK Gel Blaster. So here's an M85. So I just want to show you kind of some of the differences. So the M85 is, a little bigger. And then we've got an M90 here. And again, so that just shows you that it's even bigger, right? So what I'm going to try first, though, is just to use one of these little spacers that I've made, right, that I've 3D printed. That just fits on here and pushes all the way down. And then I'm going to go ahead and use that and see what kind of FPS change we get with this. So this was already at like 250 FPS if you watch the videos that I've done. And now we're going to put the spacer in here, and we're going to see what kind of FPS change it is. Instead of utilizing one of these springs, I thought I would try this since I had these spacers around too. So hopefully this is going to kind of make it the equivalent of like an M95. So that's what we're going to see. Let's see if we can get this up to 300 FPS with that. So that's the only performance mod I'm going to do because everything else is done. And then you're going to see some cool cosmetic mods too. You notice the way the handguard attaches to this fully loaded is a little different than to the normal Gen 8 and Gen 8.5 M4A1s we see, but the normal handguards still fit on there just fine. So just so you guys know that. All right, so check back. We'll do some demos. I'll get this put together, of course, with the different modifications I'm doing, and I'll show you those. And then we'll test it out and see what kind of FPS we're at. So again, gellblastergun.com for them for fully loaded. Remember, it comes with tons of accessories. And then if you're looking for upgrade parts, AK Gel Blaster ships from Hong Kong, and they actually ship really fast. You should get them in under a week. Comments, questions, post them below. Like, subscribe, share my channel with friends, and participate in those monthly giveaways.